Alright, growl, growl, prowl, prowl. Hello, my friends. So, I just wanted to make a video about horror games, the horror genre, and why I believe that horror is back, baby. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the gaming community recently in regards to horror. So, let me just go through a list of the few things that is currently happening in the world of scary games. Which, by the way, are like one of my favorite genres. Probably, it's top three. Not probably, it is my top three favorite genres in the world. Fantasy is probably number one. Like even like fantasy horror would probably be number one, like a Zelda / Resident Evil type deal. But anyway, so EA just announced that during July's event, they are going to be reviving a dead franchise. What do we think it is, man? Everybody's saying it's gonna be Dead Space. Let's go, baby. Dead Space 4. So what I hope it's gonna be, I hope they will do a reveal saying, hey, Dead Space is back, and they'll give us the trilogy 1 through 3 remakes, 4K 60 frames a second, updated textures and stuff like that, and then that'll lead right into, Dead Space 4. So I would hope that the remakes would come out 2022. They'll announce them this year, hopefully, either at the July event or at the Game Awards. And then we will get those remakes in 2022. And then they can announce Dead Space 4, which can come 2023. That would be fantastic. Or 2024. Either way, I just hope Dead Space is back, baby. Hideo Kojima. Now, this goes back before I get into the more previous or more updated rumor. I'm going to a previous documentation. Kojima, this was like a year ago or so, maybe even more. He tweeted like something about along the lines of, "Oh, I'm trying. If you want to make the best survival horror game, you need to read certain books." And he had a picture of like some horror books or movies or something. So people are thinking and hoping, at least me, that this guy's been working ever since Death Stranding. He's working on his next game is going to be a scary game, a horror-style game. Because that's what he was doing before. He was doing PT, Silent Hills, with Konami, before it got canned and canceled in 2015. So yeah, he says he wants horror, so here we go, you know what I mean? And that was like a year ago, and this is all culminating, right? This is all coming to a head, you guys. We've got this other project called ILL. ILL. It's being developed by like a few people, I believe in Russia, using Unreal Engine 4. Oh my god, the animations, the body dismemberment in that game is the best I've ever seen. Hands down, the best I've ever seen. Like, you shoot someone's arm with a shotgun, and their arm goes flying off, and they drop the metal pipe that they were holding. Like, ILL looks incredible. And you guys, you gotta understand that horror is a very, like, unloved, uncherished genre because people are too afraid to play scary games. You see what I'm saying? So horror itself is a very underrated genre, in my opinion. It's never won a Game of the Year award, never, not to my knowledge. The only thing it's ever done is Resident Evil 2, I believe in 2019, the remake was on the list for Game of the Year. And in this year, 2021, I'm putting my foot down, Resident Evil 8 will also be on the list for Game of the Year this year. It will not win, though, like I said, because it's a horror game and people don't like scary games in general because they're too afraid, and I get that. But so we have that, we have ILL. Even Zelda is darker, Breath of the Wild 2. Like, even that has a little bit of a horror theme. You look at the 2 trailers they released, and it's pretty dark, especially the first one. The first one's really dark. So even Zelda's dipping its toes into horror. Like, the whole idea is, guys, I think the world as a whole, I think society as a whole is warming up to horror games, to scary games, and they're realizing what you and I have known, for 10, 20 years, and that's that horror is the best, man. It's the fucking best. I love scary games. So we also have Callisto Protocol coming, and that's from the makers of Dead Space, like literally the creator of Dead Space 1. He is spearheading Callisto Protocol by, the company is called, what are they called? What is it? Striking Distance, I believe. Striking Distance is the new studio where 20 to 25 Dead Space developers are working on Callisto Protocol. And he said, our goal is to make the scariest survival horror game of all time. So, hell yes, baby. Sign me up. Let's go. Then we have Konami. Look at all this stuff happening, guys. See, this is not just, I don't think it's just coincidence, man. Look at Konami just tweeting. Go on their Twitter. This is June, what's today? June 22nd, I believe, 2021. Go on Konami's Twitter. They just started releasing Silent Hill clothing and like a skateboard. So, and they said, we're doing this to celebrate ... Like their tweet says ... at the end, like they wanted to say something. Like, celebrate what? Celebrate Silent Hill revival? You know what I mean? Like bringing it back from the dead? I don't know. And then you have the cream of the crop of all of these rumors and news for horror, guys, is we have this game called Abandoned. We also have Microsoft working on a game called Scorn, by the way, too. Scorn, another survival horror game coming, I think, 2022. But then we have Abandoned. And this game looks, I mean, from what I've seen and heard, it could beat Resident Evil for me. There's supposed to be no HUD. They're trying to make a really realistic game, like no HUD, and you have to manually check your ammo count. Like, I imagine literally opening the gun's clip and looking inside the clip to see how many bullets. Like, yes. I want it to be the most realistic game ever. I want horror to be realistic, and I'm actually rendering my almost 3.5 hour Resident Evil 8 review right now as we speak. It's being rendered. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. It's taking my computer, I'm trying to render it in 4K. It's been taking my computer like 5 hours right now, and it's only like 40% done. So that's got a long way to go, and then I'm gonna upload that review. But anyway, Abandoned looks really good. It's supposed to be made by this company called Blue Box Games or something, and I've never heard of them before, but it really kind of like, there's a lot of weird stuff going on, man. You can look into it with Konami and Kojima and like Turkish languages, like translating Kojima's name to Turkish translate to like Hassan, which is the name of like the CEO of Blue Box Games. It's just really weird, man. People are wondering if this is Kojima's way of saying Silent Hill is back and he's making a Silent Hill game. Nobody knows for sure, but regardless, we're gonna find out soon, probably in July, what's going on with this shit. Because Sony, I'm imagining either July or August, I'm putting my foot down, Sony will do a State of Play or a PlayStation Experience event, because they skipped E3 this year. Sony didn't do anything for E3. So I think they're gonna let E3 die down in June and maybe even July, and do it at the end of July or August. Sony will do their own event, and hopefully we'll learn more about this Abandoned game. But there's a lot of stuff going on with that game, man, and just from what I've seen, it looks fantastic. It looks great. So we'll see. So yeah, survival horror is back, guys, and you know what? You know who I think we owe it to? Personally, I think we owe this to Resident Evil 7. Thank you, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, for doing this, because it brought horror back in 2017, along with The Evil Within 2. Without those two games, man, there was like nothing. There was Outlast, but nothing AAA. Nothing AAA. Those are the only two AAA survival horror games there is. Evil Within and Resident Evil. Everything else is AA or single A games, you know? Indie games. So, thank you, Resident Evil 7, for getting this all started, man. For getting this all started back in 2017 with the revival of survival horror. Because without that, I don't know that we ever would see this again. I mean, you guys got to think, oh yeah, another thing is EA destroyed Visceral Games in 2017, I believe, was when they said, we're done with Dead Space and we're done with Visceral Games. Visceral Games is over. People don't want single-player games. That's what they said, I think, in 2016, EA. And look how far they backpedaled, guys, since then. Now they gave us Jedi Fallen Order 1. They're making Jedi Fallen Order 2. They did Star Wars, Squadrons, no microtransactions, single player. Like, EA is finally waking up to single player games, baby. And they said that they're going to be reviving an old dead franchise that the fans love. So what else could it be besides Dead Space, you know? Let's go, man. Horror. That's all I want. I want so much horror, because horror games scary games are like the best. They're so much fun. They really are amazing, you know? But the world is just too afraid of them in general. So unfortunately, they haven't gotten the love that they deserve. But it's starting to come around, man. It's starting to come around. What I've been saying all these years, horror, baby, let's go. It's coming, it's coming. So yeah, we got a lot of good stuff on the way. And before I die, you guys, before my body is in the ground, in the dirt, I hope we can get a rated M horror-themed Zelda game. That's my number one game hope of all time for myself in my lifetime. A rated M Zelda horror game. Okay, that's it. Just wanted to say, guys, I'm super happy that survival horror is back. Scary games are back and better than ever in some ways, right? In some ways. And let's keep pushing. Let's show these other game franchises, that we can stand with the best of the best. That scary games can be the greatest. Alright, guys. See you soon. Be on the lookout for my Resident Evil 8 video. Coming soon. Review, psychological analysis. It's over 3 hours long. My game of the year, 2021. These animations are terrible. Look at that. I'm smiling. And that's me smiling on the camera. Terrible.